Last night I had the strangest dream. I woke up at 3 just after this dream, and it's one of those dreams that just comes from anxiety. When you start something new in your life and you have really big dreams, and you're like on the surface, you are very confident about it, but like deep down, Ricky agrees. Deep down, there's something of some anxiety, something that you're not sure of. But on the surface, you're like very confident. You're like, you're gonna do it. But there's a little bit of anxiety about it. And I think this dream came from there. I don't know if you guys have that when you start new things. Something interesting, when I did drama and I was acting and I did stage plays, I never had stage fright ever. When it was school plays or at varsity or any other church plays or anything that I did, I never had stage fright. I had a lot of confidence when I was on stage. But it's like 2 weeks after the event, or after the production, when it was done, over and done with, 2 weeks after, I would get the weirdest nightmares of me forgetting my lines or going onto stage naked, or just weird things that just can't do anything about. I mean, the whole event is past. This was the first time that I felt anxious about something new that I'm starting. Yeah, and it's weird. And it basically kept me up for about 2 hours just rolling around thinking about it. So didn't get much sleep, but who cares? Busy day, need to get going. Tell me in the comment section down below, what do you do to deal with anxiety like this? So I've got a very busy day, full schedule, the whole day, barely time for a break. So lunch is extremely important. Gotta get me some fruit, some yogurt. Let's see, we've got some yogurt, strawberries, always good, some grapes, and a few other things. Healthy living. When humans eat, dogs need to eat too. Okay, stuck in traffic again, so it gives me a few minutes to talk. What's relevant in the news today? Our athletes, after coming back from Rio, got 10 medals. Extremely proud of all of them. But the issue now is, what about funding for other athletes that do not perform on the grand scale? How do we develop more athletes to achieve greatness when it comes to big sporting events? Now, unfortunately, the majority of funding, whether it comes from sponsors or from the government or anything else, goes to the top athletes. The question is, how do you get those athletes to perform at such a level if you don't develop from a young age? So what is the solution? Should we invest more in school sports? How do teachers get involved in ensuring that children develop? And I must say, I think this is where the biggest impact is. That even at primary, children start participating in school sports or organized sports or any other events, whether it's drama or whether it doesn't matter which activity they do. Teachers play an extremely important role in the development of skills. Whether it's in the classroom for academics or it's culture, it's sport, teachers are the answer here. We need to invest in qualified teachers to assist in the holistic development of children. The other argument, of course, is in our country, should we be investing in sport? When you actually think about it, sport is such a trivial issue, actually, when you compare it to housing, poverty, free education, things like that. Shouldn't the money that we invest in sport actually go to these other issues that really need our support? Really interested to hear what you guys say. Tell me in the comment section down below. Attending a quick workshop on assessment. There's a visiting professor from another university, but I'll give you more information afterwards. Bye-bye. Yeah, please. Thanks. just had a very constructive meeting with my tutors. Tutors are like the thing that really makes my life so much easier. If I had to do all the administrative stuff and the organizing and the individual meetings with individual students, it'll just be mad. It'll be crazy. So rely very heavily on my tutors. And one thing that I just told them is that, and I think it's very valuable, is that it's not the big things that you do that get people to follow you, people to find you inspirational or anything. It's the little things. It's little by little you do things, you consistently do them, that people realize this person has got something. Before I had this meeting, we had a quick presentation about assessment, and one of our colleagues from New Delhi University spoke about formative assessment. What is formative assessment? Quickly, it's not tests, it's not exams, it's those little activities you do in the classroom where you can gauge the learning process of the learner. Where are learners in their learning process? And the one thing that stood out for me about that is feedback. How much feedback do you give when you do assessment? A lot of teachers give homework, and it's homework and it's homework, but how much feedback goes in? Because what feedback do you get? Because in the assessment you gauge, this is what this specific learner knows, this is what this specific learner thinks. How do you give individual feedback? I've got about 15 minutes between this meeting and a few other meetings that I need to do. So I thought, whilst I have this time, I'm quickly going to upload the video for my other channel. Now, if you don't know about the other channel, it's for teachers. It's called Super Teachers Unite. I'll link to it up here and down there so that you guys can go and look what we do there. It's an inspirational, motivational channel for teachers to ensure that all super teachers unite under one banner and we can make a positive difference in people's lives. So, off to class now. Got 2 classes back to back. Luckily it's methodology, so it's like about how to teach, why you teach. Looking forward to it. Just look at all of them. Just look at all of them waiting for class to start. So extremely good classes, both of the classes that I just taught. Very interesting stuff that came out. The first one for methodology was on PCK, which is pedagogical content knowledge. It's just basically how you teach, the methods that you choose to teach the concepts or the content. And what I took from that was, there was a little story that we used, or an analogy of a toolbox. A teacher has a toolbox. And you decide, when you teach a lesson, you decide which tools to use. And if a teacher only has a hammer in the toolbox, that's the only thing that they can use. So imagine, and one of the students said, imagine fixing a blocked toilet. If you've got a blocked toilet, imagine trying to unclog it using a hammer. You could probably get the job done, but it's not really going to work that well, and you're going to be deep in shit probably. So that's one thing. So teachers have to fill up their toolbox, get so many different methods on how you can teach the same content, because the context is different. Every class you teach is different. Every single thing you do is different. So make sure that you've got a lot of tools in your toolkit. And then a second thing happened during the last class. I know the difference, and maybe some of the science teachers out there can assist me with this. I know the difference between independent variables and dependent variables. I know it, but I was unprepared. I stood in front of the class. It just came up as a by the way. It wasn't supposed to be part of the lesson, and it just came up by the way. And because I'm Afrikaans and English is a difficult language, I get mixed up so much, but I know the difference. And then in teaching it, I taught it wrong, and I had to stop myself and I had to say, guys, I realize I'm wrong. We have to reteach this. So I made a little jokes like wipe clean, and I know it's not possible, but wipe clean, let's start again. And then I taught it right. but you feel like an absolute fool when you teach the wrong thing. But I think the important thing is acknowledge that you're teaching the wrong thing and start over. Looks like we have a little bit of a car accident this side. Let's see what happens. Yep, through a wall. Sandy is a bit concerned about Ricky's eye. It looks like there's a little bit of swelling on his eye. So we want to take him to the vet. So that would be 2 trips to the vet within 3 days. But of course she wants to bath him before we go. What did I do? I switched off the geyser for the day. So there's no hot water.
And what did you do? You were not busy cooking the fucking kettle while we have to do this because the dog is getting fucking cold.